Alright, so I have some really bad news, and I'm going to show you a gameplay in the background that's pretty interesting because this guy not only does have a bunch of good players, but he's seeds ahead of me. It took a while to find the game, so I guess they just mixed me up with him. As you guys can see, he has a Sapphire Blade Griffin, and there's no way he's going to come back this far just to go play me. So, anyway, I was going to say to you guys that I have some very, very horrible news. I was in the middle of rendering a video because I told people on Twitter that I was going to make 3 videos in 3 days. And I was rendering the video after I did the commentary. It was a video of me losing, but I was explaining to you guys why I lost because of the inconsistency in 2K. And I just pretty much just broke down the entire gameplay, just explaining this, that, and whatever. It doesn't matter. You guys are never going to see it now anyway. So we're going to get back to the meat and potatoes of the conversation. Upon realizing that I wouldn't be able to get my video out in time, because I'd be somewhere that day, I started rendering a video at about 3 o'clock. And it was 3:39 when I left, right? And what are the odds that when I come back the next day, my computer still says 3:39 on the clock? So I'm thinking, is something wrong? And I try to cut my computer off, cut it back on, and it never does. It just died on me. Like it does. And I think it died a year after a year almost to the day of the warranty. So I'm pretty screwed. And this has happened with a cell phone of mine in the past. This has happened with actually 2 cell phones and now this computer. Why do they make products? And on TV. I had a 2-year warranty on the TV before, and that died like a couple days after the warranty. So I'm starting to wonder if they do this on purpose. Anyway, that's beside the point. All of my videos leading up into this one, which pretty much is seeds worth of videos, and pack. Oh, look at that dunk by Larry Grandmama Johnson. And I was in traffic. That's sick. But back to the story. This is a very big deal because now I don't have access to videos that would have explained how I got this far in my team. Or how I got Larry Johnson, Gary Payton, LaMarcus Aldridge, players you haven't seen there before, because he was actually the Marcus Aldridge pack that came from me playing Domination, and I was gonna show that before the gameplay and all the other stuff, and you know, all the highlights and stuff, whatever. But this is sad because I had a lot of things I was going to use to break down the problems with 2K, and I had a lot of things for highlights and my career. Like, I was going to find ways to incorporate other characters not involved in the story into the game, into my story at least. That's why I was calling them episodes, and, you know, even though I really don't like that term and people just call everything an episode, but I can't do it now because I'm almost at the All-Star break, and you guys have only seen me play about, I think, a couple of games. I can just continue on from where I am now. It wouldn't make sense. A lot of stuff we skipped. It would probably ruin what I was trying to do, and I really don't like the idea of just copping out and saying, oh, you know, we'll do it again in 2K15. This could be a perfect time for me to get started on my. Oh yeah, by the way, let me get to this podcast topic, because the only reason it's not out yet is because I decided to do a dual person podcast, and I'm dependent on another person, and I'm waiting on them to build some consistency. Now I know they're a busy person in general. Oh, look at this part. This is where Mon Shumpert got hurt. BS. But although I did hurt a few other players in the past, so I guess it had to happen to me eventually. But with the podcast, the guy, he's a busy guy, so I can understand why he's not always available. But it's hard to build consistency when another person really doesn't have it. Like you know, I can't just do it myself and just say like, oh, every Saturday, blah blah blah, because it's easy to talk about sports, very easy. But I'm gonna figure out a way to try to incorporate that. This showed me that I really need a backup plan. I can't just stick to just 2K because you never know what's gonna happen, or who knows, maybe I should just start uploading faster. You know, it makes you think about a lot of things when these things happen. You don't really expect it. It's kind of like when like an emergency happens, like, you know, like a family emergency, you guys gotta prepare. So this is just gonna make me better in the future. Right now it's kind of tough, it sucks, but I'm gonna, I guess, skip ahead in my career. It's gonna feel weird going from coming off the bench scoring like 11 inside of 8 minutes, or scoring 20 in 10 minutes, to getting a triple-double pretty much every game. So I'm just gonna, you know, fight through it, and hopefully I'll buy a new computer unless they can fix it somehow. And Gosh, man, this sucks. Oh man, this is just my luck though. Like it's like whatever could go wrong just does. But I'm not the type to waste time on anxiety, and I don't believe in pity on anybody, especially myself. So in this situation, I guess all I could do now is just incorporate some of the new Xbox One and PS4 titles into my channel in the future, because I do play a few of them. And I'm going to just, keep bringing you guys gameplay. And I'm going to try to break down the problems that are going on still. Because if somebody doesn't, then how is anything going to get fixed? If everybody just said the game is amazing and they love it or whatever, and they only, complain privately, and, what's going to get fixed? Because honestly, I'm not even going to get into my 2K rant right now. I'm going to say that for the next video. Since y'all know what the situation is, and there's nothing I can really do about it, and I already explained it, I'm just going to get into this gameplay. If you've been watching it, you'll notice that I've been hitting a lot of shots with Sam Jones, and his two-headed monster of Kyrie Irving and Tony Parker, pretty much from the second quarter on, he just became a three-point spammer. He wasn't playing like that at first, but he just kept shooting it, and sometimes when 2K acts correctly, they'll make you miss shots that are contested, and you'll end up inside a horrible hole like this guy, where it's really tough to come out, and you think that the only way to save yourself is by a good pick and roll. Only way to save yourself is by shooting threes to get back, but the threes are really your enemy inside that. So inside this game, he pretty much lost it from the second quarter, and it was pointless. It looks a little close at times because he goes on bits of runs, but he really didn't stand a chance. I was playing into the post a lot. I was shooting threes. I was running plays often. I was driving. So I pretty much had him confused the entire game the way he's supposed to play the game. And my team is pretty good, so I didn't really worry about his goal players. This is, right before I ran into all the Jordans. Like, I literally could not stop running into Michael Jordan for 3 days. I tweeted about it when it happened, like when I finally didn't run into him. I was so excited. I don't care if I lose to a person who doesn't have Jordan, but if I'm playing against Jordan, like, oh my God, I'm not gonna get into that. I'm just gonna tell you guys that next time I'm probably gonna show you my collection so you guys can see who I currently have. I'll explain how I got the players, and Larry Johnson, he's a beast. Although I'm still kind of wary about leaving him as my starting power forward. I kind of wish I had Sean Kemp and Larry Johnson, because then that would work for me. I'd have Larry come off the bench. The height just bothers me. And as you guys saw, he shot 25 threes with those two players alone. Mon Shumpert got hurt, but I was shooting pretty efficiently.